What do you get when you cross an up-and-coming wine region, vineyards planted in a national park, a visionary young winemaker, and a winery that has been named the best in their country for not 1 but 2 years? The answer, if you haven't guessed it already, are some pretty delicious wines. Specifically, we are talking about those of Thia in the Czech Republic. Hi there, I'm Jacqueline for Vero, and we go around the world searching out wild and scarce wines to bring to customers, businesses, and distributors across the US. And the wines and olive oils we bring here to the US often have never been here before and are hard to find across the US. This is certainly the case for THAYA Wines, which we imported for the first time in 2022. But first, let's zoom out from Thia and quickly look at the larger area and country. We have done a full video on the Czech Republic before, and I'll link that at the end for you to check out after this. But it is a good idea to always subscribe here on YouTube and to the Vero newsletter on verovino.com to never miss any more interesting content that comes out from us. So as we talked about in that previous video, the Czech Republic has historically been a crossroads for many different countries, both in a trade road sense, but also in a cultural sense, as it has been ruled by many different countries as well. So we have a lot of history and culture in the country, as can be attested by the amazing capital city of Prague. But what does all of this trade and cross-cultural stuff mean for wine? Well, historically, beer has been the alcoholic beverage of choice in the Czech Republic, but wine is a growing sector, both agriculturally and in consumption. But because of the crisscrossing of trade and empires, it means that there are very few native grapes in the Czech Republic and a whole lot of imported varieties. This means wine growers and winemakers like Thia are spoilt for choice in both wines and grapes that they can grow and the styles that they can make the wine in. This may be from off-dry to dry or stainless steel to oak aging. There's so many things they can do. And as well, there's an interesting facet about the different styles of wines coming out because of climate change. Once upon a time, colder weather meant wines were acidic, harsh, and what little sugars the grapes produced were often left in the wine to counteract these harsh flavors. And this would lead to many off-dry wine styles. But now, with warming temperatures, grapes reliably ripen and more complex dry styles and such other wines have become possible for winemakers to start playing around with, like Thia. Okay, so all these are great reasons for why the Czech Republic is a great up-and-coming wine area to keep an eye on. But what makes Thia specifically so special? Well, for starters, their location in the southern corner of the country, an area known as the South Moravia, helps out. This southern corner of the Czech Republic has several unique microclimates that are beneficial for wine, and Thia finds themselves in one that centers around the city of Znojmo. This area is characterized by the river Thia, for which the winery is named, and the nearby national park, where the winery actually has vines planted. The combination of the river, helping to regulate the weather and keep it nice and even, and the protected biodiversity of the national park allows Thia to work with mature, organic grapes from the get-go. Let's just say they work with a great raw material. The soils in the area too are interesting. It has mainly 2 types, loess and granite. And Thia has multiple vineyards and grapes planted on both, as each will give its own set of characteristics to the wine, be it maybe fruitier or saltier. And blending all of these different vineyards and crafting these wines is the task of young winemaker Jakub. He started making wines at 15 with his grandfather before studying enology and going to work for a mega corporate winery. But disillusioned by that large company, he found his way to Thia in 2019, where he loved the opportunity to work with a winery that focused on quality and sustainability over quantity. Of course, Thia is actually much more than just a winery. Thia's founder, Josef, has built an amazing location, expanding winery buildings, tasting rooms, and even adding a restaurant and a hotel to the premises. And all of this construction is focused on adding to the natural landscape and beauty surrounding the area, allowing Thia guests to really feel like they're in the heart of the region. But now the part you've been waiting for, the wines. As we mentioned, Thia has quite an expansive lineup of wines between different styles and different grapes. They love to mix and match all of these different things. Their premium wines usually include some kind of special aging or single vineyards and can be found under their black and white labels with circles that represent stones from the river Thia. And their National Park series is not to be missed. These are fresh and young wines, and each wine and label is represented by a unique animal or insect that can be found in the vineyards of the local national park. But across all of Thaya's different lines, whether red wines or white wines, off-dry or dry, unique or international grape, there's one thing that can be certain. These are good wines made with passion and care. In fact, as we mentioned at the beginning of this video, Thia has been named the best winery of the Czech Republic for 2 years running as of this filming. Who knows about more in the future? So are you ready to taste some wines from the Czech Republic? The good news is, if you are located in the US, whether a consumer wine lover or a wine-related business or distributor, Vero can get these wines into your hands. Check out the lineup of Vero imported Thia wines linked below, or head over to the Vero shop on verovino.com to purchase these wines or contact us for special wholesale pricing. Thank you for joining me today. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe below to be notified when new content drops. In the meantime, here is the promised video on the Czech Republic. Why don't you check it out? I'll see you there. Bye.